everybody. I'm actually here. I actually pressed the right button tonight, so we're all good. Welcome everybody to Thursday Night Live. Tonight is going to be a fundraiser for Animal Rescue Ukraine. So in the description below, there's a link to check out the organization. They have an Instagram. And then the link to donate is there right under that. So instead of doing super stickers and things like that, if you could make a donation, or if you want to make a donation, please do. And if you do during the show, let us know so we can thank you. Okay. So thanks so much, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'll name check at the end. So we'll do that. And thank you for helping Adam to kind of keep the chat, troll free and and all that good stuff, and for helping and greeting and all that kind of stuff. It really helps us out quite a bit. All right, so let's go then. I guess, Adam, are you ready? He just did a thumbs up. Will there be a second documents case out of Trump's Bedminster Club in New Jersey? Okay. Okay, I just heard add on, so I think they're going to add it on or add something on. So maybe it be added on to another case. So I guess yes and no. I think it won't be its own thing. I think it will be added on, or some of the stuff that they find, or that they are they may go after him for other charges or add other charges because of it. I feel like actually it's weird because I feel like that actually is going on right now. I feel like they're looking at it, they're doing something about it right now. So it feels very, very like on top of us, very present. So, okay. So yeah, that's a good question. How did the jury feel about Stormy Daniels' testimony this week? Okay, let's see. And don't you think that all of this stuff should be televised? I mean, I don't remember it. When I was little, very little, I was about 3, I think. And I know because New Zoo Review, which was my favorite show at the time when I was 3, was interrupted every day for Watergate. It was on TV all day long, every day. What is the deal? We should be seeing this. We should be seeing every bit of it. So it's annoying. And that's all that I'll say about it. But it should be televised. Okay, so Stormy Daniels. I get her being really nervous, really, really nervous about all of this. And that she was very, very nervous on the stand. It was very, very embarrassing and very hard to talk about. It's interesting too, because she doesn't come across to me as angry. I feel like she puts as much on herself as she does anybody else. So, why did I do this? Why did I make this choice? Why did I, so I feel like she's very self-examining about everything. I don't know why this is coming out. Like I said, when you step into the stuff you don't know, but she had a good luck charm with her. She brought something with her that was for good luck. The jury, to me, it feels like the jury found her believable, but also also they found her to be like likable, and they had sympathy for her. They felt bad for her. They found her to be relatable. And it's interesting because I feel like they didn't expect that, or that wasn't expected, because I think of what she does for a living. Like, how can you relate to that? How can everybody relate to it? But they found her very relatable. I feel like she may have brought up like being a mom and stuff like that. So I feel like they found her relatable. So that's what so I feel like she came across very credible, relatable, and likable. Okay. How does Melania feel about her hubby, given all the reports of him sleeping with Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal? Melania. So this is weird. I feel like at some point she knew about this and kept quiet. Or she found out about it and kept quiet. I kind of feel like it was when they were in the White House. Because I feel like for a while she didn't believe it. Like when it first started, like rumors first happened. Because I feel like the rumors started way before any of this was kind of surfaced, and she just like dismissed it. But I feel like in the White House, or around that time, she got wind of it and kept quiet. I feel like she was paid for entertainment purposes only. I feel like she was paid or given something. And I feel like it's a mixed bag, because I feel like she's kind of, there's been like an evolution with her feelings about it. Because I feel like at first it was kind of like hurt and embarrassment. And now it's like she doesn't care. And I feel like she's more concerned about what other people think, what her kids might, or what her like son might hear. So I feel like now it's more kind of the fallout that she's worried about, what people think of her, what people think about it. But it's very embarrassing. I would say that's probably the dominant like feeling that I feel, and also a little degrading, yeah, those are the feelings I would think, that I kind of feel like she thinks or she feels. Okay. I know. Is Trump's health, sleep, suffering because of the trial. He sure looks like it. He does look, I mean, he really does look bad. Yeah, he really does. Yeah, he does not look good. Let's see. So it is taking a toll actually on his, to me, he feels very drained, and it's like dragging everywhere. Like I'm dragging to this place or to that place, and yet I need to do it, but I'm dragging. It's like it's exhausting. I also feel like there's a lot of worry as well, and there's a lot of gosh, he's such a micromanager, right? So he's got his, he has to talk to everybody and be in the middle of everything, and you know, he gets involved in this stuff. He does things like this and gets involved in this stuff because it distracts him from himself. It distracts him from his life. So he's always kicking up drama, finding ways to make more drama. His life is exhausting anyway, but I feel like there's so much he's not in control of that it's particularly hard and exhausting. And I feel like just his anger, I feel like it has taken, he really needs to watch like his blood pressure, and like, I don't know if hypertension is the same thing, but it's like this, blood boiling. They just said so getting all worked up. And I feel like it's a constant with this because it's so frustrating that he can't just say what he wants to say and do what he wants to do. He's so in a box, or more, and he's not, he has freedom, you know, but for him, he feels so confined because he has to be somewhere every day, has to be there all day long. And he has to, you know, he can't say certain things. For him, it feels very confining, and the anger builds, and there's no way to get it all out. And so he just kind of like, it just sits on him and sits with him. So yeah, so that's what I'm getting. So yeah, but it is, yeah, his sleep, I feel like he doesn't, you know, a long time ago, I did a reading about his sleep and that he has nightmares, and it's kind of when his conscience comes knocking is when he goes to sleep. So he doesn't like to sleep. And he takes a lot of, for entertainment purposes only, he takes a lot of drugs. He takes during the day, and he takes them to go to sleep at night for the time that he does sleep. So he's, his sleep, even when he sleeps, it's not like good quality sleep or natural sleep. It's very, you know, he's like, it's almost like knocking him out and reviving him. But yeah, that's what, yeah. Thank you, Adam. Yeah, just like Judy, uppers and downers. Exactly. So yeah, so that's what I have. And so that also, you know, clearly takes a toll on your health as well. When you're popping pills to stay up and popping pills to go to bed, it's not good. Yeah. The great Michael Cohen versus Donald Trump face-off is coming soon. Will Trump be able to contain himself? Okay. Let's see what Michael Cohen's going to bring up. I feel like we're going to have reporters talking about their eyes locking, like staring each other down for a minute or something like that. Something's going to come up about that. It's interesting because I feel like with Michael Cohen, it's like when he's seen him before, he's kind of avoided him, and he's made up his mind, this time I'm looking him in the eye. And so, and you know how Trump is. He won't even stop shaking your hand until you let first. And I feel like there's a moment where their eyes are locked. And I feel like reporters will talk about it because I feel like it's going to be like a moment. And I feel like, and just to let you know, the only reason I feel like that's coming up is because he's made that decision. I'm going to look him in the eye. I don't know if it'll be written, but I feel like he's going to like unleash on like at like a rally or something. So I feel like it's spoken. Wait, no, I don't think he'll be able to contain himself. I think he's going to kind of let loose at a rally. It doesn't seem written to me though, for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe he contains himself enough to not write things down, but then he gets in a position where he can let it out, and he does. So I think in the courtroom, he'll be able to contain himself, but it's afterwards. I feel like he's going to go off the rails a little bit. Okay. Judge Merchan has warned Trump multiple times about breaking the gag order. Will he spend any time in jail or a cell? Okay. It's interesting because I actually feel like it's kind of 50-50 because I feel like the judge just doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to be the one who does that. I feel like because he feels like it's not good for anyone. But I also feel like there are people that are with Trump that are telling him it's a good, I think I told Adam this, that I felt like people were telling him it would be a good thing for him. It would be like the mugshot and you can make money off of it and people will come and, defend you and, you'll have riots in the streets or whatever nonsense they tell him. And so I feel like there's this, it is almost like a showdown kind of thing. It's a kind of a back and forth. Let me see. I think there may be a point that he might spend, even if it's just like overnight or something. I feel like there may be a point he does. I feel like he's going to push it. He's going to keep pushing it. And at some point, the judge is going to have to act because it gets, it'll get ridiculous or, he already is clearly, having privileges that regular old defendants wouldn't have, or defendants wouldn't have. So, but I feel like he's going to keep pushing over that line. And I feel like there may be a point where he has to, but it's not good. It's not good for Trump at all. And I feel like maybe that will be enough to make him stop because I feel like nothing happens. Like it's not like a big scene when he's taken in or anything like that. It just seems like he was just out of sight for a little while. It doesn't feel like anything really happens. And that's, going to jail, I feel like is one of his big fears, not so much because of just being confined, because he doesn't move much anyway. Like when he's home, he doesn't move from like 1 or 2 rooms. But I feel like it's sitting with himself. He's got his hands and he's always tied up in all this drama, partly because it does keep him distracted from stuff he's done and who he is and where he comes from and his past and things he's done, the awful things that he's done will start invading his mind. And so I feel like being alone with himself is really, really hard. I feel like he's always got people around him, whether it's on the phone or on the, or he's completely engaged in some other distraction if people aren't around. Like when he was watching the J6, stuff going on, when he was sitting alone in the room with the TV, and in jail, alone with yourself in a cell, there's no distraction. I feel like that, whether he can name it that way, I don't know, but I think I feel that's what he's really afraid of, is being alone with himself and his thoughts. That's why he does have the stuff he does, just to keep himself, ginned up and in fight mode and yeah. So I hope I answered that question. Will he spend any time in jail? Maybe a night. I feel like if it does happen, it'll be really short. So yeah, and it'll be enough. Are Trump supporters having any second thoughts about their orange messiah given all the trial information, or do they remain blissfully unaware of Earth One? Yeah, exactly. I feel like the ones that are left are dug in. I keep saying this, that it's shrinking, and shrinking. I feel like right now, the people who are in, but it's not many. And as you see, there's already people, his ex-vice president's not going to support him. There was another governor that came out and said he's not going to support him. So I feel like you'll see more stuff like that than actual like supporters on the ground. Because I feel like those people they have issues, they have problems. They're not, and they're easily like manipulated and led, and they have their own kind of personal views. It's the way they see the world that meets with Donald Trump. So I feel like the ones that are dug in are kind of dug in now. So, okay. But the people in the public, like in the public eye, senators and stuff, you may see some shifting around with them, because I feel like there are going to be people that because he's going to, like I said, I feel like a lot is going to happen between now and the election, a lot. And so you're going to see people in the public eye kind of dropping away or dropping off. But his core little tiny base that's with him, I feel like they're kind of dug in. Okay. Rick Scott showed up to support Trump. Are other GOP acolytes being forced to attend trial? Rick Scott showed up in court?
Apparently, yeah, just to support him, like, on his side of the aisle.
He's such he's such a kiss up, he's just so nauseating. Did Lawrence O'Donnell get to Trump when he said Jeffrey Dahmer had more support than Trump? It sounds like it. It sounds like he did. I mean, his skin is so thin, right? So let's see. Are other GOP acolytes being forced to attend trial? Yeah, I feel like it's like if you want Trump to support you, or if you want, to be in the running for vice president or to be considered for anything in the Trump administration, you better show up. So yeah, and I do feel like it was about that, like pointing out he has no support in the courtroom. I mean, that's the thing, right? When you're this way and you're completely and totally self-serving, the people that are going to be around you are people that are completely and totally self-serving. And sitting in a courtroom all day is not the way they want to spend their day. What's in it for them? They're not showing the courtroom. They don't have cameras in there. So what's in it for me? And that is why I feel like they're not showing up. They are similar. They're the same. So if anything, that's his karma, right? He is how he is, and he draws other people like that. And then when he needs them, they're like, oh, what's in it for me? Everything's so contractual. It's so, you have to get something to give something, so yeah. And I do feel like that statement or that really bothered him. And so now they're putting out the pressure, if you want him to whatever be in your corner, you better be there to support. So yeah.
And just to confirm, it was Rick Scott, who is the one who looks like a Nosferatu vampire, who
oh, I know who that is. Yes,
not I love you.
Okay.
not the VP candidate.
Not Tim Scott, right? Tim Scott, is that his name?
Yes, Tim Scott.
Okay, all right. So Rick Scott, but well,
Yeah.
whatever. They're all in that same category where they're kind of self-serving. They're in it for themselves. But I feel like they did kind of put out the word, if you want him to do something for you, you need to do something for him.
Yeah. And Rick Scott had his own trial issues when he
yes.
Right, 1.7 billion fraud of his company, which he knew nothing about, even though he was the head of the company, because of course the buck doesn't stop with any of them.
Right. Yeah. I'm so tired of these people getting away with stuff and not being taken to task. And there's lots of ways to pay for your wrongdoings. There's not just jail or just going to court or just whatever, but it is annoying that they just seem to just act with impunity. It's very, annoying. All right. There are reports that Trump isn't going to go to Barron's graduation after all his leaking. And does Barron actually want him to go? Okay. Well, I feel like it's weird because I felt indifferent at first. Like I don't care. But then I felt like it will, if he's there, it will make me nervous. If he's there, I'll be aware of him the whole time. I won't be able to just kind of do my thing. He's such an imposing presence, I think I feel like that's what I'm feeling like. Just like if he goes, not so much he'll make it about himself, but I'll be aware that he's there, and it will make me uncomfortable. Speaking as Barron, like I would feel uncomfortable. So I feel like in a way he's indifferent. It's like I don't care whether he goes or doesn't go, but if I had my choice, I'd rather him not go because it's going to make me uncomfortable and me more nervous and just kind of aware of him the whole time rather than just focusing on the night or the day or whatever. So yeah. Yeah, Sharon Donnelly. Yeah, it won't be about Barron. Exactly. Yeah. So Barron Trump made his first move into GOP politics by becoming a Florida delegate. Was this forced upon him, or did he want to get involved as part of the Trump dynasty? So it's interesting because I feel like he does have some interest in like politics, but I feel like this particular thing was forced, was pushed. Yes, Connie B, thank you. Yeah, he was pushed. It has something to do with you're going to see more of this kind of stuff where like personal friends and personal people with really personal ties getting involved in different positions. It's part of like kind of intimidating or intimidation, like the fix is in kind of thing. What this is. So in a way, it's kind of psychological, like psychological warfare. In a way, I feel like you're going to see more, like his daughter-in-law in charge of the Republican money. You know, it's like it's kind of like we're taking over whether you like it or not, that kind of thing. So either fall in line or you're out of here. It's partly intimidation. Yeah. Okay. We were all probably shocked that Judge Eileen Cannon put off May's trial date indefinitely. Will there be a way to remove her from the case? Eileen Cannon. I see her being questioned. Like, I feel like she's, or maybe that's happening now. I feel like she's going to be questioned. Jack Smith has something on her. He knows something. I just saw him put his feet up on the desk, like he's like, you know, like he's got everything in order. He's not worried. He's not worried. He's got something on her. He knows something. Can't get it. All I can say is they're going to question her. There's going to be some questions coming for her. And he's like putting like his ducks in a row, like there's stacks of papers and he's putting them like in a row. So I feel like he's got his ducks in a row and he's not worried. He's relaxed about it. There's something he knows. And I feel like he's looking at his options. He's kind of looking at all of the options he has. I think they may try to remove her, actually. I didn't feel that before, but from what these images that I'm getting and the way that it feels feels like he's got something up his sleeve that he's comfortable with, that he's confident with. So we'll just kind of put a pin in that and watch. But that's what I'm getting. Ness said Linda G saw Jack Smith's foot on the desk too. Oh, really? Just like that? Like kicking back and like just relaxed? Interesting. Well, that wouldn't be the first time when people get, that makes me feel more comfortable. It makes me feel like, okay, there's something to that. When there's, yeah, I always feel more comfortable and more, more on if other people are seeing the same thing. That makes me happy. Thank you for telling me. Oh, I wish I had time to watch everybody. I don't have time to watch anybody. Does it matter at all to Trump that he's being humiliated daily in court? The mashed potatoes again. Yeah, the mashed potatoes on the head, right? Yes. So yes. And I feel like he goes off on tangents about certain people. I wouldn't be here if blah, blah, blah did this. I wouldn't be here if blah, blah, blah did that. It kind of reminds me of when Mueller was put in place, Jeff Sessions, and he wouldn't stop talking about Jeff Sessions and how, he would just always go back to Jeff Sessions, and, that he was the worst attorney general. And if it wasn't for him, none of this would have happened. It's like that. I feel like there's this constant like barrage he goes through of if it weren't for this person, if this person did their job. So it's not only just like angry, but lashing out at specific people all the time because of this. Not anything he did. He didn't do anything wrong. It's all of the people that should have protected him or should have done their job or done something different. So I feel like that kind of railing goes on all the time. So yeah. Sounds fun. I'd love to work for him. Sounds amazing. MTG failed miserably to get MAGA Mike Johnson. It's like, they're both horrible. Removed as speaker. Instead, she got booed by Dems and Republicans. I saw her. She looked so angry when that happened. Is her relevance declining? Well, like I said, that little fraction that's very Trumpy and very much like in his pocket is probably representative of how many people in the United States. They're probably a good, that little chunk of people, whatever that is, 10 people out of 300 and whatever percentage that seems about, how many people are out in the United States. But the United States he's got this little section of people that are just in for him. Is her relevance declining? Let's see. Well, yes and no, because I feel like she didn't really have, it's like nobody likes her anyway, in like her colleagues and Democrats and stuff. Like nobody really likes her. That's the feeling I get anyway, that she's burnt a lot of bridges and they don't like the way she operates. Again, a very self-serving person. And they don't like it. But I feel like in her, maybe in her district or in a majority of her district, she's still seen as, she fights for us, even though she does nothing. She's, thank you, doing something. they still kind of like her. So I think that she might hold her seat for a while, but I don't feel like anybody else really likes her and kind of actively dislikes her. Some people are just kind of like, oh, whatever, that person. But I feel like people actively dislike her. Kind of like Matt Gaetz. People actively dislike him. They want to see him go away. They want to see him go down. And it's the same kind of feeling with her, that people are really getting tired of her antics, really getting tired of her being the center of attention all the time. They're just tired of it. And they don't like the things she says. She's too, not extreme, but she's too provocative. They don't like it. So. Are Trump donors getting sick and tired of his whining head? Are they running out of money to give him? To date, Biden is outraising Trump by a large margin. Okay. It feels like some donors, maybe the donors that have already kind of pulled away from him, are going to stay away from him. I feel like he does have a few that they feel like, at least what it feels like to me, is kind of like, if he's in charge within that chaos, we can get so much more. So I feel like there's some people that feel like for him, if he's in there doing what he does, and he's also very easily manipulated, and you can easily manipulate him into getting what you want. So I feel like there's some people that feel like that's a good thing for me, but a lot of people, it feels like, have moved away, that the overall scene is not something they want to be a part of. They don't want to see us go down that road. They're in that camp. And I feel like there's many more of those people. There still are some people who think it might be good for them, or good. And again, right, these self-serving types that are not thinking of anything else but my bottom line or what I'm going to get. And those kind of people are going to kind of stick with him. So there you go. Trump recently promised oil industry execs they could have anything they wanted if they wrote him, like I just said, right? $1 billion check to be Biden. Will they? Oh, gosh. Bad bet. I just heard that at least the majority of them think he's a bad bet. He's not. It's not worth it. What he may bring to the table, it's not worth it. It's not worth the headaches. It's not worth the. And he is. Oh, who's that guy? Who is the guy? Rex or Tex or whatever. The guy, remember the oil guy that was in his administration at first that can't stand him? Rex Tillerson? Is that it?
That's it. Yeah, sorry.
He just came up. And so I feel like he's made enemies even in the oil industry. People that do not trust him, do not like him. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, headache. Yeah, it's not worth the headaches. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the drama. It's not worth anything. Thank you, Tina and LLC. Yeah, Rex Tillerson. Yeah. So he's made enemies already in the oil industry. And I feel like some of those enemies are talking, like saying, don't trust this guy. This guy is, he's full of it and he's not worth the drama. He's whatever he touches, he ruins, that kind of stuff. So he's not in their good graces. And with Trump, it is so transactional, particularly when it comes to money. But there are a lot of executives, not all of them, but there are a lot of them that want a stable economy. They want a stable, stability in the country. They don't want a civil war. They don't want all this, they want some businesses better when there is stability. So they don't want that kind of stuff. And the stock market going all wonky like it used to, they don't want that. So, there may be a few willing to play ball, but I feel like a lot of them are out. They're not interested. News broke that RFK had a brain worm, which ate part of his brain and died. Perhaps of poisoning. Will the news that he experiences brain fog and confusion and brain worms end his campaign? That explains a lot, doesn't it? And really, that explains a lot. I feel like pressure, like I feel like he may get pressured to leave or pressured to get out. It feels like Trump people. They may offer him something, make a deal of some kind, but I feel like he gets out because of pressure. I don't necessarily think it's because of this, but I feel like he's pressured to get out, and he just does. I do feel like his appeal is going to decline. Like I said, a lot's going to happen between now and the election. Just keep that in mind. And so I feel like there's going to be, a kind of a steady decline, and then he's like kind of pressured out. So, yeah.
So I personally find this story hilarious, but and it explains everything. But
it does explain everything.
There's a lot of discussion in the chat. It was in his divorce decree. He said this happened. We haven't seen any doctor's notes or anything about it.
Oh, okay.
In 2012, and I think the New York Times were the journalists who dug it up, and they said, what about this? And so he had claimed that at the time, whether true or not, in order to basically, he was saying that he couldn't afford to pay, what did we call it? And, anyway, pay his ex-wife, because his earning potential.
Oh, alimony?
His alimony, thank you. Because he was experiencing brain fog and confusion because this parasite had gotten into his brain, eaten it, and died.
That does explain a lot. It does explain a lot. I mean, regardless of whatever's going on, there does feel like mental health problems, and even some physical problems too. Did he have a stroke? Anyway, I feel like there's physical stuff with him. So, and definitely mental, problems and stuff. It's really sad, I think his family is very upset about him and what, like the legacy he's leaving in his own family. I think they're very disturbed by it, you know.
I don't see anything about a stroke, but he suffered heart problems for which he's been repeatedly hospitalized.
Oh, okay.
Spasmodic dysphonia, which is the neurological condition, and that's why he has the voice that he has.
Okay, because I can't put my finger on what I was feeling, but it's but I feel like, yeah, there's definitely health things and mental health things, and it's really sad. Oh, Turtle, I love News and Review. The 3 delightful animals. Yeah. Will the country ever feel unified again? Obviously, during the Civil War, there was quite a break, but in our lifetimes, we've never had such a divided country. Will the country ever feel unified again? You know, as long as there's these news stations that can just lie, you know, and I know that we've you know, taken on some of it with, you know, court cases with Fox and things like that, but as long as they're in some kind of standing, I feel like it's going to be really, really difficult. They've grown so distrustful. They're it's borderlining on paranoia. They really believe, like Democrats, liberals, you know, and now even like rhinos and, you know, independents are enemies, you know. So for a fraction of the country, I feel like they may be lost in a way. It may take like a generation to kind of shed some of this, but I feel like as long as those things are in place, it's going to be really hard. We may always have a section that's kind of separate or separates themselves. We're going to have opportunities. Let me, because I'm getting like things like with like, you know, with climate change and different things that happen, we're going to have opportunities to come together. And so that may kind of like soften the ground to be able to come together more often. But it's going to take time, and it's going to take some kind of clearing out of some of these really, really destructive networks and talk show hosts and stuff that really their business is just like lying and keeping people angry. And it's going to be really hard with that in place. But I'm feeling like give it a generation, give it a, you know, because there a lot of these people that watch these things, not all of them are older, but a lot of them are. And so it may take like a generation moving forward, a generation leaving and one coming up that makes it different. Yeah, that's the best I can get right now. It's something to keep checking on for sure. Will Louis DeJoy still be postmaster during the 2024 election? And is he continuing to work to help Trumpty Dumpty? I feel like there's so many people that want him out, you know? I feel like so many people that want him out. Well, what I can tell you is they're going to try to get rid of him, because I do feel like he has biases. Again, he feels very like self-involved, self-serving, like protecting his own interests and that kind of thing. Has an agenda of his own. But I feel like there are enough people that are really working to get him out that we can see that. But I would say if it doesn't happen by the end of summer, it may not happen, because I feel like it might be more towards, as we get closer and closer to the fall. I think it's less and less likely, but again, manifest it. See him walking away. Because I think if they could get someone really good in there, it would be good for everybody. From the mailbag. Claudia asks, what are the chances of J.D. Vance that will be Trump's VP pick? What are the chances? I feel like he is, like, he's on the list, but I feel like they don't want a white man. Let me just put it that way. But I feel like he's on the list. So I guess his chances good as anybody else's, but I feel like they're trying to find a woman or someone who is not white, which is just so typical of them. They're just so blech. But anyway, yeah. So I feel like he's on the list, but he's not a first pick at all, or even like at the top of the list or anything. He's just an idea. But I feel like they're going to try to stay away from a white man. Christina for dog catcher. Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know if dog catcher would be the right title. Executioner, dog executioner. Maybe. Daddy asks, can you check in on Putin's health? Yeah, that's a good one. Let's check in on his health. I'm getting I won't say it, but it's like an attempt to get rid of him coming. It's his own people. So for entertainment purposes only. I'm getting his health is kind of being stable, but I also feel like he's getting, I always see him getting these, it's like he's underground somewhere getting injections. And I don't know if that, I mean, I feel like I don't think it's literal. I feel like it's symbolic of that he's getting special treatment somehow that nobody knows about. But I feel like he's kind of like he's stable, but I feel like something's coming. And I feel like it may, I'm going to say, it may make him like incapacitated. Let me put it that way. Thank you, Thelma Schaefer. It's so, yeah. So that's what I'm getting. I'll get off of that, but yeah. So right now I see that same thing that I've seen with, like, yeah, infusions or injections or something, and then I'm kind of getting that he's stable, but something's coming. It's like it's out of his hands. It's somebody else coming in. Yeah. Last questions. Is the GOP planning on disrupting the votes of women and minorities? Lara Trump mentioned training GOP operatives to handle votes, which is currently illegal. Yeah. So I do feel like they're going to do a lot of stuff, but I feel like they don't have really the money to put into it. So it's kind of a womp womp kind of operation. It doesn't have a real impact. It doesn't have real reach. We may hear stories in like a precinct or two, but it's not going to really have the massive sweeping effect that they would like it to have. They don't have the money. They don't have the support. They don't have the money. They don't have what it takes to pull something like that off. So I feel like there'll be little things here and there, and but nothing that is substantial. It's more like a nuisance. It's not, and I also feel like there'll be like help put in place, some kind of help put in place. So some kind of either a program. It kind of reminds me when Obama was running, I think it was in 2012, maybe it was 2008. And they gave everybody, remember they kept giving people lawyers' phone numbers. And then if you were told you couldn't vote, you were supposed to call a lawyer on the spot. I feel like there's going to be things like that put in place so that people are able to get help right away and get someone like, there to help them so that they can vote, so that they can, or get a provisional ballot or whatever. I feel like there's going to be some programs put in place that help people to not be disenfranchised, if that makes sense. And it feels like it's kind of like that, where it's like on the spot. Okay, so that's what I'm getting. But yeah, there'll be shenanigans for sure. They don't have the money and the support though this time. If it was going to happen and be the sweeping thing, it would have been 2020. Will Fani Willis be removed from the Georgia case? Oh my gosh, that's because when she was going through her thing before, I saw her still there. So let me see with the new whatever they're doing. Dum-dums. There's like a tug of war. I feel like this is going to go on for a little while because I feel like they may try to push her out. I feel like she sues or something else. I feel like it's a back and forth for a little bit. So it may take some time, and that's what they try to do, right? They just try to stall. Thank you, Obsidian Iris. So I would say what I'm getting is kind of a possibility. To me, it feels about 60-40 right now. I feel like 60% she'll stay on the case, but I feel like it's 40%. So I feel like it's a soft yes that she'll stay on the case. Okay. So once again, use your prayer, use your manifesting, see her there, have those visions, put them out there, stay positive, stay rooting for her and rooting for some justice to be done here, but don't get discouraged. It's not over until it's over. So put all of your good energy out there and towards her, okay? So Judith, I'm just seeing your question. In the 24, you said that we'd lose two giants, is what they said. Is Jimmy Carter one of them? I don't think so. One thing I felt about that, and why I knew that Navalny was one of them, was because they felt young, like they felt like before their time, kind of thing. So, thank you, Truth. So yeah, so that's what I was getting. So okay. So I don't think so. Not that he's not a giant, and he's not. I mean, he's such an amazing person with such an amazing legacy. But I don't think that is the person. Okay. Last question. Can you please check on Zelensky's health? Okay, Zelensky's health. To me, it feels more mental and emotional rather than physical. That are, I feel like he's, it's like, how much longer can I do this? How much longer can I be like keeping everybody else up and keeping everybody else kind of motivated and keep morale up? I feel like that is taking a toll. So to me, it's more mental and emotional. But physically, I feel like he's pretty strong. For whatever reason, I feel like this has aged him. I feel like he definitely walked in his whatever he was, late 30s, early 40s, and he's walking out in his 60s. It's like it's really aged him, but I feel like he's in pretty good physical health. Okay. Yeah, I'm praying that too, Christine, that he'll get to the end of the war. I pray that too. Yeah, please pray for him as well. Absolutely. Animal Rescue Ukraine, that's who we are doing a fundraiser for. All of the information is in the description, so you can read about the organization, and then please donate if you feel moved to. I just wanted to do something for the animals tonight. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And I guess we will name check now. So, yes, I'm glad you guys are sending him my energy. Good for you. Okay. Let me go up just a little bit. Okay, so, whoops. Connie B, Leslie, Tangi 0906, Diana Hill, Sparky, Christine VR. Thank you so much for hanging out. Raquel Hatley, Janice Connett, Sharon Sipe, Gigi by the Sea, Sweetie Darling Lulu, Dr. Nancy Living Co-Creatively, Imelda, Pegasus, Paulette Riddle, Connie B, again, Cynthia Pierce, Sharon Sipe, Kimmy G. Thanks so much for hanging out, you guys. Thank you, Adam. Thanks for everything. Leslie, Anita Pace. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Anita. You're so sweet. Celia Lenling. Thank you. Sweetie Darling Lulu, Patricia Franzino, Lynn LeGlaire, Judith, Michelle Maybell, Obsidian Iris. Yes, we need to manifest for Fani. Exactly. Lisa Berriesa. And don't think that all the stuff we've seen happen to Trump hasn't been part of this manifestation. People want to see him in court. They wanted to see him indicted. I mean, all of this stuff was very unlikely at one time. I don't know if you guys remember, but it was like, will he ever be indicted? Will he ever? We made it. I really do believe we made it happen. So, because people, that's what they wanted. And so it's happening. And we can manifest him right in jail too if we want to. So let's do that. Sparky, I need to pay. I mean, we just he just needs to be. I feel like he's such a dangerous person. You know, I feel like that it would be just nice if we didn't have to worry about him being out there and doing his scheming and scamming. Okay, Pegasus, Lisa, David Mackham. Thank you guys. Patty Olson, Sharon Sight, Craig Dixon. Thank you so much. Imelda, Susan, Alice, Ailes, Sparky, Carol Lamb. Thanks so much. Adam, thank you. Ann Ma, Shelly S, Amelia Bankel, Sweetie Darling Lulu, Mother of Three Gotcha. Oh, thank you, Aries Fire. Thank you so much. Vicky K, Christine VR, Imelda. Good night, Craig. Thank you. Thank you, Clara. Donna Newhouse, Aaron Mist, Gigi by the Sea, Paulette Riddle, Crystal Wickens, Aries Fire, Ness, Shelly S, Kat M, Patricia Franzino, Tina C. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, I put up some new orb mediumship appointments if you are interested. So grab one if you want one. I put up a few. So if you want one, you can see if you can grab one. Sharon Sight, Prince Charming's mom, Donna Newhouse, and it's different than regular mediumship. So be sure to read about. I put the link, so just read about it first, and then see if it appeals to you. Roxanne M, thank you so much. Nicholas Carroll, Kristen VR, Barbie Gangora, Garden Genie, Sharon Donnelly, GBN Wings, Given Wings, Marie Frink, thank you so much. Kim Ward, thanks so much. Jess R, Aries Fire, Stephanie Staley, and Roxanne M, Gigi by the Sea. Okay, that's everybody, I guess, that wanted to be acknowledged. Thanks so much, everybody. I will see you guys on Sunday, and I will, we'll talk then, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great weekend. Yes, sweet dreams, everybody. Christine VR and Gail. And Nicholas Carroll. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.